it's Arlesha. I'm a purpose-driven mover and shaker, harmonizing life and ambition. Welcome to my podcast. This season, I'm talking about the special stories, lessons, and insights from my 14-plus year run in the sports industry. Throughout each episode, you'll hear about the gems that drive my career approach and my outlook on life, in the hopes it'll inspire you to harmonize your life and career ambitions. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Hey, it's Arlesha. Today, we are diving into a nuanced but important topic: how to maintain your personal identity while working within a team. In today's episode, I am going to talk about why it's important to keep a sense of who you are when working in teams, how you can do that effectively, and how this ultimately benefits not just you, but the team as a whole. No matter the industry, many of us work in team settings, whether you're a part of a small team or a large organization. Balancing your individual strengths, values, and voice with the collective goals of the group or an organization can be tricky. But it's also essential for success, for both personal and team success. I know a little something about this, being that with all of the athletes that I've worked with have involved being in team settings, some as big as teams of over 10 people. From coverage agents to managers to publicists and many more members and stakeholders. In my career scrapbook video, you probably noticed a good amount of group shots, but you also may have noticed a lot of shots in which I experienced work and moments as an individual. Let's get into the idea of staying true to your identity in a team setting. Often, when we join a team, there's this unspoken pressure to blend in or adapt to the group's style, culture, and direction. While teamwork requires collaboration and a certain level of conformity, completely losing yourself in the process can be dangerous. When you give up your identity in a team setting, a few things happen. Your creativity can be stifled, you might feel resentment or burnout, and the team could lose the very things that make you valuable: your unique perspective, your authenticity, your skills, and way of thinking. What you bring to the table as an individual is often what sparks innovation and offers fresh solutions. But here's the kicker. Maintaining your identity is not about being an individualist or standing apart from the group. It's about harmonizing who you are with the goals of the team. It's about being true to yourself while being a team player. That's where the magic happens. So for me, I'll share an example during my time as a member of Dwayne Wade's management team. That was a jam-packed team. I showcased this in the career scrapbook video, but you may recall the pictures around Dwayne Wade's retirement year. The collage photos showcase pics with groups of about 15 or more people working across various disciplines to bring Brand Way to life in multifaceted manners off the court. My approach on the team was to lean on my superpower and ability to operate as a creative quick thinker or idea generator. I became the go-to person to come up with a name for a piece of content, hashtag, or a product line, for example. Essentially, a branding whiz is what I'd call it. Maybe it stemmed from my short stint working in PR, which I talk about in episode 4. But coming up with savvy framings or descriptors and names came naturally to me. I believe this was 2018, where we started to see this trend during the off season where NBA players would all get together and do these runs where they train and compete together, culminating in one-on-ones or sometimes 3-on-3 matchups. This primarily occurred on UCLA's courts when the guys would spend their off seasons in Los Angeles. So Dwayne had the idea to rejuvenate his own open run idea that was initially referred to as the Invitational. He needed a name that would stand out and intrigue younger NBA players to come out to San Clemente, California, and spend a few days with Dwayne and his team of trainers, coaches, and a few brand partners to curate a weekend of basketball, financial and brand empowerment sessions, and even wine tasting. Members on the team started brainstorming new names for this open run. But of course, everyone knew to call Arlesha into the room. I remember it so clearly. I walked into the room, Dwayne was there, and after getting wind on some of the names that were put on the whiteboard from my other colleagues, I said, why don't you call it #the invite? Invite these guys out and frame it in a way where it's easy to be brought up in conversation. It has an element of intrigue to it while keeping homage to the original concept. It sounds cooler, shortening the name, and it reads better as a hashtag. It'll also read better on signage on the court and so forth. I do have to dust my shoulder off as I relive this memory because, yes, the event was rebranded to #the invite, and it was a success, featuring appearances from emerging players and future all-stars such as Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler, Donovan Mitchell, Kobe White, and more. So, as this example shows, on the Wade team, over the years, I leaned on my superpower and knack as someone who had nimble creativity and the ability to come up with effective, clever ideas, oftentimes in real time. Amongst other things, it became the thing I was the go-to person for. If you're enjoying this episode so far, would you enjoy it even more with visual examples of the very topic I'm discussing right now? I'm sure you're nodding your head saying yes. So I am here to remind you that I've shared the inside peek into my career scrapbook, which commemorates over 100 memories during my 14-plus year run in the sports industry. And it's live on YouTube. The scrapbook sets the theme for the career and life lessons that I will continue to share this season on the podcast. I highly recommend you tune in after this episode if you haven't already done so. I'm excited to continue to take you through the gems between the pages. The link to the scrapbook video is in the show description. Enjoy. Okay, so we know why it's important to stay grounded in who we are. But how do we actually do that? First, it starts with knowing yourself, your strengths, values, and what you stand for. Spend some time reflecting on your skills and the unique experiences that shape your perspective. When you're clear on this, it's much easier to express your voice within a team environment without feeling the need to shrink or overcompensate. Secondly, be confident in your contributions. Often, people hold back because they fear that their ideas might be rejected or out of sync with the group. But remember, you were chosen to be a part of the team for a reason. Your perspective matters. Don't hesitate to share your thoughts, even if they're a little different. Many times, it's the out-of-box ideas that move projects forward. Next, set boundaries. Teams can get overwhelming with groupthink or intense collaboration, and sometimes you need to create space to recharge or reflect. If you're always blending into the collective without moments to center yourself, it's easy to lose touch with your personal goals and values. And lastly, remember to communicate openly. Teams thrive on good communication, so if you're feeling sidelined, undervalued, or like your identity is being compromised, speak up. Have a conversation about it. You might be surprised how open others are to hearing your concerns and making adjustments that support everyone's identity. Now, let's shift gears and talk about how maintaining your identity can actually strengthen the team as a whole. There's this misconception that for a team to be successful, everyone has to think alike or act in perfect harmony. While teamwork requires alignment, it's the diversity of thought, experiences, and identities that make a team truly strong. When everyone brings their authentic self to the team, you get a richer pool of ideas, and the team becomes more adaptable to challenges. Think about it. When team members are comfortable being themselves, they're more likely to be engaged, take ownership of their roles, and feel invested in the outcome. It's about each person playing their part fully. Plus, when teams embrace individual identities, they become more inclusive. People feel valued for who they are, which fosters trust, collaboration, and a sense of belonging. So maintaining your identity isn't just about you, it's about contributing to a healthier, more dynamic team environment. So, to wrap it all up, the next time you're working within a team, remember that your individual identity is a strength, not a weakness. By being confident in who you are, communicating openly, and balancing your personal values with the goals of the group, you can help create an environment where everyone, including you, can thrive. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to download and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And remember, your uniqueness is your superpower. Don't ever forget that, especially when working with others. Until next time, I am sincerely yours, Arlesha.